Okay, how about we talk about Petrobras, a real oil company? All right, this video is brought to you by Financial Juice, a fantastic breaking news squawk service for traders, and Earn to Trade, the best futures funded trader platform out there. Let's talk Petrobras. Okay, so we're going to talk about Petrobras. I know in the prior video I was talking about 88 Energy, which is a wildcatter exploration and production oil company, whereas Petrobras is what you would call a marquee company, which is sort of vertically integrated, which means that they will find the oil, they will extract the oil, they'll refine it, and they'll sell it. Okay, so that's kind of vertical integration on a much bigger prospect than something like Eddie. Anyway, we're going to look at the monthly bars because it really, this is the largest part of my portfolio at the moment. Pays a great dividend. We're going to look at that in a second. But one of the problems that this stock has is that the president of Brazil likes to weigh in on the dividend disbursements from the company and has done recently. All right. So I was playing some calls on this recently, owning it as well. I like it. A lot of people don't like the volatility that can come in from the president and the administration in Brazil weighing in on it, but forget about that. I think we're good here on Petrobras. So technically, where I see you see this low that we had in '08, right? In 1st of December '08, we put in this. Sorry, it was kind of a November, December low, right? And you see this, nice bid back out of it, right? And that we'll call that the 1473s level, okay? So then we're going to zoom in here and have a look at what's going on. Remember, monthly bars, okay? So when you think about supply and demand, okay, you can kind of think about, well, we had supply coming down into this area initially when we retested in, when was this, February 2013, and ultimately it broke down, right? And that's fine. As we're now kind of coming out of this, Petrobras has a big fat dividend. It's also streamlined. A lot of its drilling operations, deep sea drilling operations, some new technology, which is going to make it more efficient, capital efficient to drill some of these wells. Petrobras do a lot of deep sea wells, sort of high pressure, high temperature wells. And so look, I think the future is bright for Petrobras is what I'm trying to say there. But technically, if we look at what's happened here is that as we are pushing our way up into this level of the 17s spot 40s, we're having support. We're coming off support at that 1473s area here, right there. Okay, we'll zoom in a little bit more. We've come in here, had support at that area where before we had a lot of resistance and kind of spring of 2022, right? And came down to the 10s level, held there. We moved back up, and then we start to hold here. So as we were about to go for a rally above the 17 handle, let's call it, Petrobras were announcing that they were going to do a special dividend to stockholders, and that would have been a huge payout. And as they'd announced that, shortly after, the president of Brazil came out and he said, you know what? Why are we giving all that money to shareholders? Why don't we put that into the exchequer? And the market, as you can see, came off about $3 there. And now what's happened as of last week is that Petrobras have resolved this whole situation. The president has shut up, and they are going to make the 100% payment of the special dividend. So that's like a Christmas bonus in a way to shareholders, all right? Because they've had such a good year, they are going to pay out this special dividend, all right? So you can see that we are up here. Now, what I like, and the reason why I'm doing this video, is I like the technicals here for a rally above this, well, what is it? We'll call it 1730s area, 1727s is the area, right? 1727s. Because I think we're set for a rally above here. Now that, if we zoom back out, now that we have resolved this special dividend situation, all right, now I'll go to the dividend in a second. Now that we've resolved this special dividend situation, this market is now holding a floor at the 1473s, and the resistance that came in at the 1727s should now be lifted and turned into support. So how do you look at how far these things can go once they start to baseline? Well, you kind of can use a little bit of supply and demand theory. So you can see here the 1473s was that low in November '08, and then we lifted up as high as 45 bucks. Okay, and that's, you see demand there, demand cycle coming in. See that? A demand for contracts coming in and lifting us up as high there before a little bit of selling took place at the 45.28. So for me, I see now that demand has picked up again. If we come back to real time here, demand has picked up again at that 1473s. And so if that demand cycle is going to keep going, I see that we could easily finish this run at 45.28s. Before then, we can, maybe mull around in the range between here and there. But I really like the technicals of what I'm seeing here. I am a stockholder from tens, I think, on this thing. I actually don't know what my average position is here. Let's just say it's 14s, for example. So yeah, I think we got a really good run to come in now. When we talk about dividends, there's companies that pay a nice little dividend. There's companies who pay a healthy dividend, and then there's companies that pay really good dividends, and then there's companies that pay suspiciously large dividends, like Zim or these things. Check out Zim Shipping. Might do a video on that as well because it needs attention. And I'm out of Zim. But the dividend yield on this, the trailing 12 month, is 16.75% dividend. Next payment date, it's gonna issue 40 cent a share, and the next ex-dividend date is the 26th of April. So that means that you have to once for you to get paid the dividend, you need to be in before the ex-dividend date. Okay, so for you to get paid the upcoming dividend, and that won't include the special bonus, I don't think, you would have to be an owner before the 26th of April. Here's another thing you need to know about dividends, is that the share price on the issuance day of the dividend will readjust as per the size of the dividend. So say here, next payment is 40 cents. All right. You have to imagine then, let's just go to like, a 30-minute chart here and kind of normalize this. The stock is trading 16.94. Okay, so we're going to say right now they were today releasing the dividend on the open. This would readjust to the downside by 30 cents. Okay, so you can view this stock as per including dividend adjustments. Actually, I'll go back to the monthly and I'll show you the difference here. All right. This is the stock. This is the stock here with not accounting for the dividend adjustments. Okay, pay attention here. Now here is the stock if we account for the dividend adjustments. Okay, so a whole different set of resistance and support and resistance levels then become known. So but the stock is looking good, I think, here. So I look at these things without the adjustment, to be honest. So you need to be aware of that if you are going to go just running out and buying stocks and then, having expectations of getting paid like a dividend within 30 to 60 days. You need to be, it's generally quarter to quarter, right? So you need to kind of be in to start to get the dividends in before the X date. All right, look, I think this is a nice little video to do for people who are looking at high dividends. I have a portfolio here of large dividend stocks that I do look at. There are a lot of dividend stocks that you should avoid, especially high dividend REITs. They tend to get a really good dividend, but the actual share price, you get what's called capital decay. So over time, the share price goes down and the value of your dollars goes down, but you're getting paid a massive dividend to stay in there. But so if you have 100 grand in there, over time, the share price might drop by 50% over like a 5-year period, but you might be getting paid like 20% dividends a year, right? And you have to do a calculation as to whether you want to have that capital decay and get the dividends of which you're going to pay tax on or not, right? So if anyone's interested in more content on dividends and how it all works, please do give me a shout. All right, that's Petrobras. Keep it tight.